कृष्णव्रता कृष्णमनुस्मरन्तः रात्रौ च कृष्णं पुनरुत्थितायै ते कृष्णदेहा प्रविशन्ति कृष्णम् आज्यं यथा मन्त्रहुतं हुताशे बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्. My humble obeisance to the Lord of Vrindavan and Guruvayur Krishna, to Sri Rama, the Lord of Ayodhya, to Ma Lakshmi, Ma Saraswati and Ma Sita, to Mahadeva and Ma Kali, to Siddhi Vinayakji Maharaj and Subramanya Swami, to the exemplary devotee Sri Hanumanji, to all the priests of the temple and all the devotees of the Lord who have gathered here. Our special pranams at the holy feet of Lord Venkateshwara and Ma Padmavati. I told you right at the beginning, after several births of punya, you can listen to the Bhagavatam. Janmantare bhavet punyam tada Bhagavatam labhet. It's not so easy to listen, and that too in Tirumala. So give yourself a big hand that you are chosen people. You are chosen people, selected people. In the spirit of gratitude, we offer the Mangalacharana shlokas today. The traditional prayer is a thanksgiving to the Lord. Samsara sagare magnam deenam mam karunanidhe karma moha grihitangam mamuddhara bhavarnavat Shrimat Bhagavatakyoyam Pratyaksha Krishna yevahi Svikrutosi Mayanatha Muktyartham Bhavasagare Manoratho Madiyoyam Safala Sarvathatvaya Nirvignenaiva Kartavyo Dasoham Tava Keshava Shukarupa Prabodhagnya Sarvashastra Visharada Etat Katha Prakashena Madajnanam Vinashaya Vande Nandavrajastrinam Padarenum Abhikshnashaha Yasam Harikathodgitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam. We come to the 11th canto. In the 11th canto, which is called the Mukti Skanda, a question is asked by Parikshit, a very relevant question. A family of Krishna, the dynasty of Krishna is destroyed. How? One who chants the name of Krishna, his family is not destroyed. Then how can Krishna Vamsha be destroyed? Tell me, Swami, how did it happen? A very relevant question, pertinent question, and very well answered by the great Shukadeva. The person who is listening also has to be intelligent. Only then the interaction is complete. Brahmandyanam vadanyanam nityam vruddhopaseminam viprashapa kathamabhut vrishninam krishna chetasam. And Shukadeva says, yes, I'll tell you how it happened. Krishna decided, boss decided that it's time to leave the world. And he had to enact a drama. Thousands of people, thousands of demigods had come with him from heaven. All of them have to go back. You bring 200, 300 people for a pilgrimage, you have to see that every member of that party goes back to your home. No, isn't not your responsibility. But how to take all of them back? A drama is enacted. And through the drama, we are taught a lesson. If you don't respect a Mahatma, it does not matter. But don't go to insult or investigate how the Mahatma works. Don't try to analyze the Mahatma. It's impertinence, because we don't have the moral superiority to sit in judgment on Mahatmas. Who are we? Who are we to judge them? If you don't like a Mahatma, Jai Sri Krishna, stay away. But don't go to test any Mahatma. So what does the Lord do in the Pindaraka Kshetra? You have Vishwamitra, Asita, Kanva, Durvasa, Bhrigu, Angira, Kashyapa, Vamadeva, Atri, Vasishta, Narada. My disciples asked, Amma, why did all these fellows come there? All of them are terrible rishis. I said, yes, each one is the nuclear substation. Each one can destroy the entire world. Why are they coming together? Because Vrishni Vamsha has to be destroyed. To destroy the Vrishni Vamsha, which is Krishna's Vamsha, you need the cumulative effect of everybody's penance. So all of them had to come together. And when they were sitting there, people were bowing down to them and going away. One day, there came a youth group. Young children sometimes are cheeky. They don't know the seriousness of their misbehavior. They are cheeky. They caught hold of a boy who looked like a girl, very effeminate. They dressed him up like a pregnant woman and pulled a veil on his face and said, Swamiji's, rishis, sages and seers, we have a delicate friend here in the family way. She's pregnant and we want to know whether she'll have a boy or a girl. The great men got angry because the boys were irritating them. You can't go and irritate Mahatmas. You can't play with them. If you play with fire, the fire won't be burnt. We'll be burnt. I hope you understand. We are going to be the sufferers. Neither will she get a boy or a girl, but a pounding pestle with which you pound grain. That is what is going to happen. And this is going to be the end of your dynasty. Janayishyati vo manda musalam kulanashanam prasoshanti putra kama kinsit janayishyati evam ladbha munayastan uchu kupita nripa janayishyati vo manda musalam kulanashanam. Have a safe trip. At that time they found a piece of wood with which you pound grain. It is a serious thing that has happened. We have offended great men and we are going to suffer for it. Whenever we committed crime, we want to get rid of the object of crime. Whatever it may be, a pistol, it may be a dagger, whatever it is. No? So they want to destroy this evidence of crime. They cut it into pieces and throw it here, there, every day. One bit falls into the river. A fish swallows it and the fish is sold in the marketplace. A blacksmith takes the fish and he wants to have it for dinner, but then he realizes there is a big piece of wood there, wood and iron, with which he makes an arrow, and that arrow is going to be shot at the foot of the Lord, and the end of the dynasty begins. This is how grim destiny is working. That is how it happened. Ugrasena says, you foolish boys, why did you go and play with fire? Why did you do that? We could have been saved without it. No. Next few chapters are about Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavata Dharma means Bhakta's Dharma. According to the Bhagavatam, we should have very steady faith. We also have faith. Comes on Monday, goes on Wednesday. Again comes on Friday, goes on Saturday. One day you're doubting the Lord. One day you say, I'm a great Bhakta. How can you doubt and then say you're a great Bhakta? You should not doubt at all. Like Prahlada, doesn't matter if you're thrown from a cliff, Narayana. If serpents are sent, Narayana. If poison is administered, Narayana. He did not bother about anything. Doesn't matter whether he gives joy or sorrow, accept it. That is called real bhakti. When we come to this particular episode, I remember an episode from Vrindavan. I hope you know the gopis and Mother Radha used to go and play in the bowers in the gardens of Vrindavan. One day they go for a boat ride, and as they are sitting in the boat, suddenly the weather changes. There is lightning, there is thunder, gush of winds, and the whole boat is swaying in the breeze on the crest of the waves, turbulent waves. Everybody gets worried. When it comes to Radha's turn to row, she's very calm, very composed. It's an enviable aplomb, I would call it. All the gopis say, Radha, are you not scared? Any moment we can be drowned. The rain, the clouds are gathering. It may rain heavily and we may get drowned. She says, when the lightning shines next time, look at the other side of the boat. And when the lightning shines, next time they look at the other side of the boat. She said, I'm not rowing the boat, it is Krishna who is doing it. Simple example that Akhandaji Maharaj gives this. All grandfathers like to take their small children, small grandchildren for a drive. And if they are driving, they put the child in front of the steering wheel and say, hold the wheel. Honk, honk, honk. Turn right, turn right. Then turn left, turn left. And the child comes home and says, I drove the car. Arey nahi Baba. Dadaji drove the car. Tata drove the car. So you think you are running your business. I think I am running my ashram. I am as stupid as the child. You understand? Krishna is running it. Krishna is running it. We are only holding the steering wheel. The rest is done by him. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. And Mother Radha's pure bhakti reveals to us how selfless she is. Then comes another episode. Krishna and Uddhava meet in solitude. Uddhava is told by Krishna, I am going back to Vaikuntha. Uddhava, no Swami. What do we do from tomorrow? Uddhava says, what do I do tomorrow? You can imagine Uddhava, who is day in and day out with the Lord, is saying, no, Krishna, don't leave me and go. He's telling him, Deva Devesha Yogesha Punya Shravana Kirtana Samrita Etat Kulam Nunam Lokam Santyakshate Bhavan Viprashapam Samarthopi Pratyahanna Yadishwaraha Naham Tavangri Kamalam Kshanardhamapi Keshava Tyaktum Samutsahe Natha Swadhamanayamamapi. As you are entering the temple, nobody says anything. But when you want to halt and watch the Lord, Jaragandi, Jaragandi. They are pushing you. We don't want to leave. We don't want to leave the temple. How would Uddhava have felt leaving Krishna? No, Master, no. What happens when you read the Bhagavatam? A transvaluation takes place. It has to take place. After listening to the Bhagavatam, if we are still greedy, still jealous, still angry, something is wrong with us. I hope you understand. This is not a storybook. This is not an entertainment. I don't come as a substitute for your TV serial. Somebody who's spoken about the Lord for more than 50 years has to be taken very seriously. I hope you understand. Every word I mean, every thought I mean, every deep desire I express is for the Lord. I'm asking you, don't you think you feel that after reading the Bhagavatams, everything seems to be at a higher level? You can't be mean, you can't be narrow-minded, you can't be selfish, you can't get angry. So many characters have emanated from the Bhagavata. Each one is teaching us a lesson. Swami, Naham tavangri kamalam kshanardhamapi keshava. We come to the Lord and tell him, please Swami, do something for this business deal, I'll come next year. The Lord says, I'll give you double what you asked, will you come again in 6 months? The Lord loves us. But we have a deal, no, with the Lord. With everybody we have a deal. So also with the Lord, no. When you do read the Bhagavatam, when you listen to the Bhagavatam, you find it is an auspicious feeling that descends into man. Tava vikridatam Krishna nrinam paramamangalam. The sports, the leela of Krishna is paramamangala for people. Whatever I have been doing, it's only with you. I have to sleep on the same bed with you. I used to eat at the same table with you. I used to drink from the same water with you. Master, day in and day out I was with you. Shayya sanatana sthana snana krida shadadishu katham tvam priyamatmanam vayam bhaktas tyajemahi. How can you abandon bhaktas like me who have been with you 24/7, Krishna? Every day Krishna would give his garland to Uddhava. Then give his upper cloth to Uddhava. Then say, put my tilakam for you this way. Everything was Krishna Prasada. He says, having accepted everything from you, where can I go, Master? Where can I go? Uchishta bhojino dasa. This morning I was at the temple. Each one is asking, Pongal Sami, Pongal Sami. Chakra Pongal Sami, Chakra Pongal Sami. Pulyodare Sami, Pulyodare. Why? You have cooks at home, you are rich people, everybody can afford food. Simple food can be easily made, and yet at home the best cook cannot make this because this is prasada, my dearest. When you eat prasada, uchishta bhojino dasa, we have eaten from your leftover plate, that is enough. We conquer Maya. We conquer Maya. Tava mayam jayemahi. The Lord says, now make it brief. What do you want? Very difficult, Swami, to give up. What? I told you, even an old handkerchief, We collect newspapers and sell them. Old clothes we sell and get vessels. I said, why did you give those old clothes to somebody? Somebody may need in the rainy season. That we can't think of Vairagya. How to do Tyaga, Swami? How to do Tyaga? The Lord is making Shukadeva answer. Shukadeva's answer is coming through Krishna. And what is the answer? I don't know the answer. I heard from a great man, humility. Generally, when a person is speaking and everybody gives him a standing ovation, he becomes very proud. And then you ask him a question, he says, according to my opinion, are you the first man in the world? Are you the first person in the world? Thousands have spoken before you, thousands are speaking alongside you, thousands will speak after you. Why are you not capable of accepting humbly that there is a parampara of speakers? The Lord has a humility. And he's saying, I went to a great king called Yadu, who had gone to a great sage called Dattatreya Brahmana. I asked Yadu, and Yadu told me, Swami, this is what happened. I met Dattatreya Brahmana. He is full of renunciation, with dogs beside him, standing for Vedas. That is what Dattatreya stands for, Vedas. That's how the dogs are looking up at him. He is a Vairagya Murti. He is asking, how come, Dattatreya Swami, you are so calm when you meet a sannyasin, when you meet a Swamiji? Don't you feel jealous? How calm they are and how excited and restless we are. They are in a different world, happy. Happy with whatever they get and not unhappy with what they don't have. That is how the great men are defined. Yadrishala Basantushtu. They don't complain about what they don't have. How are you so happy, Swami? There comes the reply, I have 24 gurus, my God. We didn't get one. How did you get 24? How did you get, because today, please watch out. The word guru itself is an anathema in the West. People don't like that word because many godmen are misleading. Many godmen are in prison also. Don't clap. Sad, sad. How many thousands have broken their hearts after that? This is what I think of. I don't think of the man in the prison house. I'm thinking of the followers who are dejected because they believe so much in the God-man. People come and ask me, Amma, particularly newspaper reporters, they'll always come and ask me, Amma, what do you think of God-men? I said, please, for heaven's sake, let God be God and man be man. Don't confuse one with the other. We are ordinary human beings. Nobody can be. You can have a godly man, but not God-man. I hope you appreciate my English. A godly man, not God-man. Because if the God-man disappoints you, you can even bear disappointment from your husband, from your wife, from your children, but not from your guru. The guru breaks your heart. People commit suicide. When the guru lets them down, people commit suicide. They don't know what to hang on to. I hope you understand how you have ditched your disciple. The Bhagavata says, here is Dattatreya Brahmana saying, I got messages from 24 gurus. Please cooperate with me. It's a lesson in the art of living. Commonsensical lesson in the art of living. How should we live? The first is Prithvi. The first is Mother Earth. She's quiet. You burn her, she's quiet. You drench her, she's quiet. You plow her, she's quiet. You leave her as a forest, she's quiet, uncomplainingly. That is why when women are very patient, you say, Prithvi Mata. She is like Prithvi Mata, Bhumi Mata. That is how she is. I make fun of the modern woman. Those days, our great-grandmothers had 14 children, God bless them, and all brilliant. No tuition master. One would look after the other. And all our great-grandmothers had very happy, long life with all their teeth in place and long hair also. Today, after sending 2 children to school, you collapse and say, I sent my children to school. As if you're Mother Teresa doing social work. Are you sending your neighbor's children to school? Your own brats whom you brought up in the wrong way. And they are only restless products of a restless couple. That's all. Why can't you have the patience? Why can't you have the patience to accept as Mother Earth, to bear? I confess in humility, so much sorrow I bore in my life. And my mother would say, how much can you bear? I said, as long as Krishna is there, I can bear anything, Amma. I can bear anything. How much patience you have, Prema? She would say. I said, don't worry, Amma. The Lord is there. Nahi kalyanakrit gacchati durgatim tata gacchati. The Lord has said in the Gita that one who does good will never come to evil. I used to wonder how God made me patient. Never complain, never complain. From where do you learn? Bhagavatam. From the Ramayana, from great men like Anantaram Dikshitar, who said, no, Krishna is there, be patient, be patient. Next is Vayu. Vayu is the breeze that blows. Sometimes it blows over jasmine and you get fragrance. Sometimes it blows over garbage, you get a stink. So sometimes sorrow, sometimes joy. That is the reason why we are depressed. We don't accept life. If you accept life, no depression. Suddenly people say, it's so hot in summer. Do you think there will be snowfall in summer? Kerala, there are rains. From my great-grandfather's time, Kerala has rains. Are these discoveries that you are making? Let us accept life. Go to Assam, it will rain. You go to Dubai, there will be only desert around you. You can be seated in an AC car, but you can't have greenery everywhere in Dubai, only certain places. We have to accept life. That is what Vayu is saying. Where there is fragrance, fragrance. Where there is stink, stink. The next thing about Vayu is our own body. I hope you understand why we fall ill. Man is the only intelligent animal who overeats, I told you. Have you seen a cow overeating or a bird overeating, a cat overeating? No. You put so much of grain for the bird, it will eat 8 or 10 pieces and give you one look of gratitude and fly away. It may come back in the evening when it's dinner time, but it won't eat. Whereas you and I will eat more and take a digestive pill. When should you stop eating? Ayurveda, Ayurveda. The stomach is a pot. The pot should be filled half with food, quarter with water, quarter with water, and the other quarter is for breathing. If you eat till here, God bless you, Govinda. You cannot eat till here. It's out in the papers. One fellow in Mathura ate 140 laddus and died. He had to die. How can he survive? With 3 laddus you can't survive. Whole day you will be sick. 140 laddus. Somebody had a competition with him. The other fellow had 129. He had 140 and he collapsed. No, stop eating. You may ask, Amma, how do we stop eating? I tell my audience of late, I don't admire anything. I admire my own body. How much the brain remembers. How much creativity is there. How much feeling is there. How much bhakti is there. How much energy is there. 3 days I woke up at 3:30. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That was the time for the darshan. I had to go. The next day also I wake up at 3:30 without the alarm. And that is what the Nobel Prize discovers today. You understand? That is the truth. What a beautiful body the Lord has given. And we are very happily destroying this body by overeating. You'll say, Amma, how do we know you should not overeat? Signal, sir, signal. As you eat 3 chapatis, 4 chapatis, according to your capacity. 3 chapatis, 4 chapatis, 3 idlis, 3 dosas, whatever. After that, you get a burp. You get a burp, belching. When you are belching, it means stop eating. The stomach says, stop eating. And you think it is digested, we'll eat more. Ayyo, that's where we go wrong. Tomorrow you're not going to die, eat tomorrow. Some people think this is the last day in life and start eating. Yukta ahara, yukta vihara. My Lord has said in the Gita, temperance, moderation is the rule of the Gita. That is what Vayu is teaching us.